Hi guys. So it's my brother Paul, Bill,
It's my brother Bill.
and we're making this video just because when we did the Colorado BDR, we had some questions before we started out on the trip, and thought maybe we can answer a few of those questions for you guys, save you a little time. And in this video, we'll insert some sections from the trip, but so I guess the number one thing is our riding experience.
No, number one thing is this. If you're thinking about doing it, just do it.
Yeah.
Okay, but now we'll give you some advice on how to do it.
There you-
Okay, because
There you go.
that's not the natural flow between these two, like doing things smart or wise. So we recommend smart and wise.
Absolutely. Yep. So Paul and I, we started riding motorcycles when we were quite young, and rode 70s, 80s dirt bikes.
Yep.
But then we kind of migrated to, when we had kids, to intermittent riding. Got some street bikes. We're riding street bikes.
Yeah.
And then we got the idea, let's do something together again, something adventurous. And so the BDR seemed to fit the bill. So we both bought some adventure bikes.
Yeah. First of all, I had to ask what a BDR was.
Right.
I was all in, not knowing what I was all in on. Okay. So,
Yeah.
what does it stand for? I forgot.
Yeah.
Backcountry
Discovery
Route. Yeah, I never remember that, but it's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. And
So you bought a. What did you get? You got your bike first.
Yep. So I bought a BMW 650 GS, which it's not a dirt bike. It's essentially
Wait a minute. It's not a dirt bike. It's not a road bike.
it's something in between. So you can't do any really crazy dirt bike riding with it, and it's relatively heavy, big. So to do the BDR, you really kind of need to learn how to ride these adventure bikes. So Paul, what bike? Tell a story about your bike.
So I live in Michigan. He's talking to me about this. It's winter. There's no bikes for sale in Michigan here. So I went on Colorado's Craigslist and found a 2004 GS 1150. So tell you about heavy and not a dirt bike and not a road bike. But wow, really kind of built for what we did. Packed it down, did all that kind of stuff, and it was really cool. So you don't need the latest and the greatest. What is a BDR? Let's go do it. Sure, I don't want to spend a ton of money on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so just for a few $1,000, got a great bike.
Yeah. So we just spent like from $3,000 to $4,000 for each of our bikes.
All in.
Yeah.
All and.
Yeah, so one of the keys really for riding the Colorado BDR is even though they're not dirt bikes, you're doing mostly like Jeep roads or gravel roads, sand, water, and mud,
rocks.
The key is to get to have knobbies.
Yeah, Shinko Big Block.
There you go.
Oh, I was impressed. Dirt cheap,
inexpensive knobby.
Yeah.
And I got a Moto Z something, an aggressive knobby.
Which worked really good.
So because you're going through sand and mud, you need the traction at certain points.
Yep.
They're terrible on the road, but the Shinko wasn't bad on the road.
No, actually, I was super impressed with the Shinkos. Check them out.
Yeah.
If you're doing a bigger adventure bike, I would do a different front tire. But that back tire is amazing, and it's less than $100. It was dirt cheap,
like
and
65 even or something.
Yeah, and great traction, great on the road. The front tire did well too, but I did some reviews, and there's other front tires I'd recommend because they plow a little bit.
Yep. So bikes, we just got older adventure bikes, BMWs. And the key, getting knobbies for the ride. You can take them off later.
Yeah.
So the other thing, we didn't know, even though I looked at a lot of videos, I couldn't figure out if we could really do this ride or not, because some of those passes look pretty hairy. So what we did is we signed up for some training, and about a month before the BDR, we took some training with let's see, it's
something north.
Yeah, it's,
north 34 or
38
north.
Moto 38 North.
There you go.
With Dusty Wessels.
Hey, two old guys will remember the whole thing
and
eventually.
And we'll insert a link
Yeah.
if you want to look up Dusty's riding. But any kind of training, it was just a weekend training.
Yeah.
But what we got out of it was, one, we learned how to balance ourselves, to move our weight on the bike to maintain balance, especially going up those switchbacks, because that's where in the videos a lot of people fall on those switchbacks.
Yeah.
But if you learn how to move your weight, you can do it pretty easily. So
it's interesting because I used to race motocross. I've done some drag racing, amateur road racing kind of stuff. Slow riding is a whole nother technique.
Oh yeah.
And very, very important for doing this.
Right.
And I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because one thing they tell you too is like above 15 miles an hour, the bike is going to balance itself.
Yep.
But slower, you have to provide the counterbalance.
Yeah.
And this is all slow riding.
Yeah, because you want to see the scenery.
Yep.
It's so beautiful. It's so awesome. It's much more relaxing that way, even though you're going to be tired at the end of the day, because it is technical in many parts.
Yep.
And so I think that was very, I would just do the training. You always learn something more when you're being professionally trained, no matter your skill level.
Yep. And then at the end, Dusty said, he watched us do our figure eights in a tight little box. He said, you guys can do the BDR, no problem. So that gave us the confidence to go do it.
And the skills literally stopped me from crashing several times. The things that we learned, some of those switchbacks, so tight, loose gravel or stones.
Definitely would have crashed if we would have not had the training.
Yeah.
And we definitely did crash even with the training. But not really bad.
I broke my hand. I mean, it's not that bad. Okay, maybe I shouldn't mention that in this.
Yeah.
Do it anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Fluke accident.
So the other thing is when you do it, navigation.
Very key.
Yep, I got Gaia GPS, which works without wireless link, so it just goes off the GPS. It just lets you know where you are on the maps, and you can just kind of follow the arrow. So
worked great.
That was really good. We each had it, so we had backup, and we had paper maps with us too, but we didn't need to use those.
No.
So the other thing that we didn't learn watching the videos, every day we rode for about 6 hours, and then we met our wives. So the way we did it, we wanted to take our wives with us, and you'll see this. We put our bikes in the truck. We had our wives in the truck and us. We drove. We decided to do it from north to south. Typically, people do it from south to north, but I think now north to south was good because it starts off easier, gravel roads, and gets progressively more difficult as you go. So that kind of builds you build your confidence up for the ride.
Me, it was perfect way to do it. Like it gradually built up, and for me it was just perfect. And that first day's ride, so beautiful, so beautiful.
Yeah, you'll never. And that's the idea behind the Backcountry Discovery Route that Paul says often is, the idea is to give you a view of the state that you won't normally see. And that's what we got.
And absolutely, so much fun. Like I said, we did it on some older bikes, older guys on older bikes, and we did it. Okay, so do it. I mean,
the bikes were way newer than we are.
But and I love in fact, I'm setting it up now to do another BDR. We're gonna go do another one, maybe the New England BDR or something like that. It's just something that is so doable, and we just highly recommend it. So much fun.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. And like we said, our wives took the truck, so we had a vehicle in case we broke, which I did. And so that we had a way to get our bikes home and all that kind of stuff. And they met us where we were spending the nights in towns. Perfect way to do it.
Yep.
Perfect way to do it.
Yep. So we started in Saratoga, Wyoming, drove pavement to the BDR at the Wyoming Colorado border, went to Steamboat, went to Gypsum, went to Buena Vista,
Yeah.
went to Lake City, went to Ouray, and then we ended in Ouray, which was just fine for us because we didn't want to go down to the Four Corners. That's kind of a long, flat, more boring ride. So
Yeah.
that was our trip.
Yeah, it was so good, and you're going to enjoy it. Do it. We're going to have links, videos to our trip, so you can see the terrain, the different things like this. Deer going between us, antelope, just all kinds of really beautiful scenery, great things. Bald eagle was flying over us for a while. Beautiful lakes, beautiful scenery. You're going to see all that. Hopefully, this is our first time. Our next video will be great when we do the BDR in our next one, whichever one we pick. Our videos will be much better. And but we just want to encourage you to do it, and hopefully these videos will do that for you and just let you know you can.
Yep.
And Cyan. Okay, see you later. Be blessed.